Elderly people over 40 years old are gaining muscle with this super molecule. Starting at 40 or 45 years old, there is a progressive loss of muscle mass. But that's not what's happening with these elderly people. Is it hormones? No, it's a powerful supplement. So, save this video now because I'm going to show you how this super molecule can help you gain muscle mass faster. Even if you're already over 50, 60, or 70 years old. So go ahead and leave your like, your thumbs up on this video, share it in your groups, and tell me, are you over 40 or 50 years old? Have you noticed this loss of muscle mass? Let me know in the comments below. My friends, don't forget to visit my website. On my website, you'll find a list of all the supplements I use that I recommend and that you guys are always asking me about, right? Like which is the best omega-3, what's the right dose of vitamin D with K2? It's all there on my list of supplements on my website. My courses are there too, as well as my other social media. Finding me, my friends, is easy. You just have to go to Google and type Moacir Rosa and you'll find me. Or click the QR code, though I'm not sure which site it's on. There's the QR code. Point your phone at the QR code and the website is also in the video description. Loss of muscle mass is a problem, especially for those over 50 years old, and it's not just a matter of appearance. It has to do with falls that can lead to serious fractures. Just so you have an idea, according to the WHO, 40% of elderly people fall at least once a year. Among these falls, 10% are very serious and 2% can lead to death. So building muscle is a health reserve. And in this video, I want to share 3 essential supplements for building muscle. And the last one is the super molecule that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. First, the classic creatine. Creatine increases the concentration of phosphocreatine in the muscles, speeding up the regeneration of ATP. ATP is our energy currency. So, when we use energy, this ATP loses a phosphate and becomes ADP. And that phosphate needs to come back. That's where phosphocreatine comes in. So, creatine helps muscle recovery. And we know that our muscles develop during the recovery process, not while you're exercising. That's why creatine is so important. This study showed how creatine increased strength and lean mass in elderly people. And creatine doesn't stop there, okay? Since it's important in phosphocreatine and energy generation, several studies are showing that creatine improves cognition, reasoning, and memory. So I always say, creatine is a supplement that everyone over 40 or 50 should use. Not just for protecting muscle mass, but also for improving cognition. Second, always combine this creatine with taurine. Creatine together with taurine, my friends, doubles the effect on strength gains and muscle recovery. Because taurine works alongside creatine in the mitochondria. It increases energy production, so you get a double benefit. Creatine increases your energy by replenishing ATP more quickly. And taurine increases this energy, doubling this effect directly in the mitochondria. So, it's very interesting to use them together. Take a look at this study that's going to appear on your screen. Exactly, creatine helps with strength gains and muscle recovery. So, it's very interesting to use these 2 supplements together. And finally, the super molecule you've all been waiting for. HMB, my friends. Hydroxymethylbutyrate. I know the name is long, that's why it's popularly called HMB. What is HMB? HMB is a metabolite of leucine, and it promotes muscle gain through several pathways. First, by activating mTOR, which is a growth factor for tissue and cells. So, if you want to grow muscle mass, you need this method. Growth factors and mTOR is one of the most important ones. But HMB also works by inhibiting the ubiquitin proteasome pathway. This pathway slows down catabolism, slows down the progressive loss of muscle mass. It reduces the rate of sarcopenia, That's why HMB is essential, especially for the elderly. Not just for the elderly, but also for those who want to gain muscle mass. You need to reduce this sarcopenia, reduce this loss. You have to increase muscle gain and decrease the loss. That's why using creatine together with HMB and taurine is so effective. Take a look at this study. This study shows that HMB improved muscle gain in people who exercise. This study is a meta-analysis level A evidence. But look how interesting this is. This other study shows an extraordinary effect, a very good one, in patients on complete bed rest. In other words, the patient didn't exercise, didn't lift weights, didn't do anything. Even so, he had much less muscle loss, a much smaller process of sarcopenia compared to those who didn't use HMB. In other words, HMB is good for those who exercise, but it's also good for those who don't exercise. This is very good for the elderly. Sometimes the elderly are bedridden, sometimes they're in a wheelchair, sometimes they can't exercise because of their age. So, you have to use it, my friends. Once you've passed 50, you have to use creatine, you have to use taurine, you have to use HMB. This combination already exists here in Brazil, right? A supplement that already comes with HMB, taurine, and creatine. It's called Creatine 3 Ultra, okay? It's on my supplement list. I'll ask them to put the QR code here to make it easier for you. I'll also ask them to add the link. It'll be in the description too. It's on my supplement list, okay? Creatine 3 Ultra already comes with creatine, taurine, and HMB. So, if your goal is to gain muscle mass, or if you're already over 50 or 60 years old, it's an almost mandatory supplement, not just for muscle, but also for cognitive function, brain health, and memory. My friends, don't forget to visit my website. There you'll find all the supplements I use and recommend. The magnesium I use is there on my supplement list. Omega-3, vitamin D, turmeric, all the ones I recommend are there on my supplement list. My courses are there on my website, my other social networks. Again, it's easy to find me. Just type Moacir Rosa and you'll find me. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, my friends, what are you waiting for? It doesn't cost anything, it's free. Just click there to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell and don't forget to select all. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this information is useful for you. If you have an elderly person in your family, if you have a father or mother who is going through sarcopenia, try this formula I'm sharing with you here. Creatine with taurine and HMB. You will see that in just a few weeks there will be a significant improvement. A big hug, my friends. I'll see you in our next chat. See you then.